and welcome back to Alumni Talks, TAPMI's premier podcast series where we reconnect with our exceptional alumni to explore their journeys and the incredible impact that they have made in their respective fields. I'm Shruti Krishnan,
And I am Ankit Arora.
and today we have the privilege of hosting a guest who has whose career is a testament to resilience, leadership, and innovation.
So, joining us today is Mr. Anand Khurana, an alumnus of the batch 1997 and currently heading the country director at General Mills. With over 2 decades of leadership across organizations like Hindustan Unilever, Airtel, Star TV, and Bunge India, Mr. Khurana's remarkable journey is one of transformation and growth. Mr. Khurana, it's an absolute honor to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Ankit. Thank you, Shruti.
Thank you, sir. So we just wanted to know how was your experience on campus today morning?
I think it was great. It's really nice to be back on campus. It's sometimes hard to believe I passed out from here 28 years ago. Makes me feel a little old. But it was a great experience. Some of my best memories, or the best years of my life were in TAPMI. I made my closest friends are from TAPMI. We're still in touch. Our families are in touch. TAPMI was, I think, really a coming of age sort of, period for me. I came in fresh, no work ex before that. TAPMI changed or challenged many things. The way I communicate, the way I engage, the conceptual learnings, the professors, all that was good, but it was also being with a bunch of people you connected with well. I think the biggest learning was from the people you were with. How you engage on your group projects, just in general in the hostels. So it was really nice to come back here and see how much progress TAPMI has made from the small little rooms that we used to stay in with no shelves and no air conditioning to this really super swanky campus. Really nice to be here.
So glad to hear that, sir. So your professional journey is nothing short of inspiring for each one of us. From managing iconic brands to scaling new ventures, your achievements reflect both depth and versatility. Could you tell us a little bit about your transition from TAPMI to leading organizations like General Mills and how your early career choices and experiences have shaped your long-term trajectory?
When I was at TAPMI and let's say placements were happening, I think like most people, my only thing in my mind was I need to get a job. Right? I just wanted to get a job and get on with it. I never imagined I'll get into an iconic company like HUL. There were many of my friends and classmates who probably were more qualified, better at the acads, better at the marks, had more leadership growth in TAPMI. But I think sometimes it's your luck on that day and how you prepared. Maybe you did something different. So I think if you want to be in FMCG, the task is to know that the first jobs are going to be in sales. If you're going to be in sales, you need to know how much a retailer makes on a bottle of Pepsi, how much money a distributor of Hindustan Unilever puts into Lifebuoy stocks, what does he even do, why is his margin 8%? Nobody in my batch knew that, I did. So I think that's what worked for me. So for me, TAPMI, the whole journey was superb. And getting into a good placement like that really changed trajectory for the balance of life. HUL is a fantastic company. It's one of the best places to have started career in. And I gained a lot from the early engagement and the early leadership roles they give you. They believe in this philosophy of giving you jobs when you're 60%, 70%, 80% ready and letting you do it. So I think you do 1 year of management training, which is very intense. You do sales, marketing, you do a rural stint where you live in a village with no electricity and no loo. Literally, so you do that, but you really learn to understand and appreciate who your consumer is. 50% of HUL's consumer base even now is rural. So you really get to understand them. And I think it makes you a lot more resilient. So once at HUL, I think you then become part of the system. And I think I got very, very lucky to have really good managers, really good mentors, people who believed in me and gave me good opportunities to do new things. So I could do diverse things like sales, marketing, exports, international business, got sent to the US to work with Walmart, got to head a small nascent unit like out of home, got to head the bakeries business of modern bread. That was a really amazing experience. It makes you truly a good general manager. And post that, I think a lot of life is what comes your way and what you do with the opportunities that come your way. So I got good opportunities to work with Airtel. Airtel is a company which has gone from zero to 100,000 crores in 25 years, an Indian company. It's superb. It's a very aggressive company, very empowering company, do big things, really launch with scale. And it was a really great experience to be able to do something like that. Be part of a circle like Bihar. When you say Bihar and Jharkhand, it can sometimes be misleading. That circle was bigger than Airtel Bombay, and you learn so many things from doing something which is so large with so much scale. 10,000 kilometers of fiber cable, 10,000 towers, 1,000 distributors. You really learn to manage with scale. So I think every new stage teaches you something. So from there to go to Star TV, which is a different nature of industry, then to become an entrepreneur for 5 years, and then somehow come back to the corporate world. I think there's been something new every few years, and I'm grateful for that.
Great, sir. So, sir, coming back to your student life, so when you were there in TAPMI before, TAPMI is always known for its rigorous academic activities. So, what were the specific aspects of the academic exposure which you gained? Moreover, how did it shape your corporate journey?
I think what you learn in your academics is a lot of theory, but you understand the concepts. And I think in an MBA, it's very different from school and college, where a lot of it, let's say prior to that, is a lot of rote learning. You learn what is in the book, you prepare a certain set of standard answers to a question, and you do it. So the whole case study process of an MBA, where you come up with your own analysis, your understanding of the situation, your hypothesis of what's happening and what you will do, makes a big difference. So I think this whole case study mechanism really helped a lot in getting a perspective of the real world and the external world, and that helps a lot when you actually step into the real world. So I think for me it was understanding the theory, then applying that to the case studies, being able to hear the views of all the other people, your own team members, your batchmates, and their perspective. I think that really is a big eye-opener.
Great.
That's amazing, sir. So, back in your time at TAPMI, were you involved in any clubs or committees?
Not really. So I think for me, I was a very happy-go-lucky sort of guy. I would say I was reasonably popular. In my batch, I hung around with many people. In my batch, I'm known as a little bit as a fraud Punjabi. I'm Khurana from Bangalore. The batch actually named me Kutti Khurana because I hung around. There were some national, groups that form. I hung around with every group. I was part of the South Indian group, the North Indian group, the people who stayed in campus, who stayed out of campus. So I think I was pretty popular in doing a lot of this and involved in many things informally.
Oh, okay.
But formally, I was not part of brand scan leadership or PlaceCom or any of the clubs.
Well, it's
So,
also very, sorry.
I was a pretty lazy guy. I worked hard only when I needed to.
Well, it's very hard to be part of multiple groups, so that
Yeah.
is also like a very big achievement. We find it very hard to do that even now.
I think it came naturally to me.
That's amazing.
Okay, sir, moving on to the next part. Many students today try to do internships and projects to balance out their career. So, were there any internships which you were involved in? How did it shape your career?
So the internship I did from TAPMI was in a electric vehicles company called Maini, and that was a very good experience for me because I had no exposure to industrial equipment. So this was Maini's industrial division where they made forklifts, and the research was to figure out if there's an opportunity for it. So I had to visit some maybe 100 factories, large factories who do heavy equipment movement, etc. So understanding that was really useful for me. Second, I think one is the official internship from TAPMI. Even other than that, I had worked in the past. I had run my own company doing small-time events, exhibitions, etc. I had worked while I was in college. And I think in general, any work, whether it's organized through TAPMI or something when you're on your free time doing it for, even if if your families are in business or people just hanging around there, spending time in a factory, in a shop, you learn a lot. You really learn to understand many small things. You might not be able to name it into a nice, jargon of what you learn. So, somebody else might not call it restructuring or cash flow management or something, but that's what they're doing. And you really learn that.
That's amazing, sir. So, you've worked across diverse industries, from FMCG giants like HUL to telecom, media, and now food. So, how did managing global brands like Fair and Lovely prepare you for like leadership roles in different sectors?
Um, I think you learn a lot from both kinds of roles. So some roles are global roles where you handle a small part of the business. So let's say you could be a global brand leader and you're managing only the brand look, feel, innovation, etc. Maybe for the world. Some roles are small niche roles, right? Where the business is niche and small, but you're handling all aspects of the business. You're a true general manager. You will be responsible for sales, marketing, R&D, production, everything. So I think temperamentally, I am more of a general manager. I'm temperamentally someone who likes the ownership, who likes to have the experience of running a full P&L. Really, for want of a better word, dhanda sort of guy. I really like doing a business. So I think for me, the roles I got in HUL really helped shape that. When I did some very standard classical HUL roles of sales and marketing where you really understand deeply marketing, brand insights, what is good advertising, how do you really look at consumer insights, how do you build a brand plan, how do you build a sales growth plan, a lot of that. A lot of it is also entrepreneurial, when jobs like where I headed the B2B business, nascent business, very small, you have full control of what you want to do. Right? So I think it's a combination of, you learn a lot from global brands because consumer insights sometimes transcend countries. What you will learn from, let's say, a campaign like Dirt is Good, where it's about letting children play and using that emotion to sell it, versus running a small business like Modern Bakery, where everything from what the new rusk will look like, what will the packaging be, should I put a new heat retention system, you get involved in all those decisions. And you learn a little bit from both. So it's good if you get both experiences. A role where you're managing one aspect with scale, and a role where you're almost like an entrepreneur. You're almost like the whole business is yours, and you do everything for that small business. You learn from both experiences.
That's inspiring, sir. Sir, throughout your careers, you have led team in marketing, operations, as well as sales. So, what do you think the current students should have as mindsets or skills set which should they develop on to excel in their careers?
So first, I think you start with a very open mindset. Right? So I think be willing to learn, be willing to experiment, put your hand up for jobs. Second, I think just because you don't done an MBA, don't expect your first job to be marketing. Sales has a lot of value, and if you were to get a chance to do sales, you will learn a lot about customer management, conflict management, large team, handling pressure. I think nowadays I find that people are not open to a sales job. It's not as sexy as marketing, right? But you will learn a lot. So I think it's important to be open to sales sort of roles, and important to be open to doing things which might add value to you as you grow. I think the main focus should be on doing something which will add something back to you rather than just what money is going to pay and what designation it's going to have. So, I can summarize again what I said in the morning. So to me, look at things first with a lot of common sense and then move forward.
Okay, that's great, sir. Actually, I have a follow-up question on that. So, you tell all these success stories. I want to know what was your one failing story with you tried your best, you gave your best, but at the end you still failed. And then how did you motivate yourself for the next task?
There are many failures. So it's not just one. Right? There are many failures. So I think it started at a very early stage. My first failure would be, even before I came to TAPMI, where I went to the UK to study, didn't get a scholarship, didn't get a work permit. Enjoyed the part where I had to work a lot, work with small stores, work with really odd jobs, selling t-shirts, selling other stuff. It changed perspective, but I had to come back to India and be a junior to my batchmates and deal with that thing. So that was, I would say, a very early on failure. In corporate, many such things. I was part of the out-of-home business, in which one of the businesses was vending, where we make tea and coffee services to corporates, colleges, etc. Where we would be selling a premix, which was a coffee powder, sugar, and milk powder mixed. That point of time, Cafe Coffee Day had just come into vending, and they would do a fresh bean and fresh milk combination. Because of our own rules and regulations, we were little careful about managing fresh milk, making sure the hygiene, safety standards are there. But I had the bright idea saying, why can't we have fresh coffee beans but with milk powder? And I ordered a lot of machinery which came in from Spain, and we went with this thing. But to my mind was everybody wants fresh bean, but it's about the fresh bean and fresh milk combination. It was a disaster, it bombed. So that was one big failure which I took the risk and we did. What else can I see as a failure? Sometimes even the roles are a failure. So let's say my stint at Star TV. So in some ways, Star TV is possibly the best media company you can work for. But it didn't work out. Maybe I didn't realize for myself how different, that sort of industry and that sort of role is from FMCG. And I didn't have the temperament or the skill sets. I was not right for that role. The role was not right for me. But it took a lot of maturity to realize that and then move on. There have been many failures.
Sir, so how do you come back from these type of setbacks?
I don't have any tattoos, right? But if I have to have had a tattoo, I think it will be two things on it. First will be Nishkama Karma, which essentially means do your work and don't worry about the results. You control the controllables, what you can manage, right? It's your job to do 1, 2, 3, 4, you do it. Do your best and forget about it. I don't overthink it. I make sure I do my best. I make sure I do my homework, do my best, give it my all. Sometimes the results will be better than you expected, sometimes they're not. At the end of the day, there are many dynamics in place, many things. So I don't overthink it. Right? I do my best and I forget about it. And second tattoo would probably be Hakuna Matata. And I actually believe in a lot of your happiness comes from within. Right? There are many difficult personal situations I have dealt with, illness in my family, death in my family, sometimes difficulty in job, sometimes, many other such difficulties along with job, etc. And it's very easy to get bogged down. I think you have to find it within yourself to not get bogged down. So, and one way to do it is I'm very thankful for whatever's come my way. I have a lot of gratitude that, what I have, what most of us have is better than maybe what we thought it will be. So I don't get bogged down that easily.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
That's amazing, sir. So one repetitive trend that we have noticed in all of your stories is adaptability.
Yes.
So what do you suggest, in how to stay ahead of trends, because everything's adaptive in nature these days. So how do you personally take care of the adaptability quotient in your changing job roles?
I think 2, 3 things. One is being aware of what's happening. So if AI is trending, I can't say look I'm 50 years old now. I'm not going to go on Insta and figure it out. I'm going to figure out if that's what kids are doing. Understand how Insta works or how ChatGPT works and how it's applicable to my industry, my consumers, etc. So I think just keeping yourself aware first, keeping yourself aware and knowledgeable about what's happening. You don't have to be an expert, but you have to have base level knowledge, right? Second is being willing to unlearn. There is a certain way. 20 years back it was okay, मेरे को product launch करना है, TV पे launch करना है, कितने GRP चाहिए, कितना TRP चाहिए, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to reach, right? Being able to now understand, okay, it doesn't happen in that way. There is a audience which lives on social media. There's an audience which you can approach directly through that. Understanding from data available, and I think just speaking to many people. You learn a lot by just speaking to people who are from the industry. When people a lot of times say we want to do consumer research, and sometimes I push back saying yes, and if it's a large category, you need to do consumer research. If it's a category which is different and you're not familiar with. But if you want to find out about tea, something about tea, right? You, me, a mom, uncle, auntie, all drink tea. Chat with them about the tea. Why do they drink it? If I want to find out something about Pillsbury, ask them, how do you make a chapati? क्या आपको ठीक लगा नहीं ठीक लगा? Just be curious about it. So I think that will be just one, be curious and be willing to unlearn. I see this is the way I've done it for so many years, but it's not going to work in this. So be willing to change. I think the biggest thing is park your ego. You might be whatever you are in the previous role. Every time you enter a new role, the trust and respect has to be earned. You have to add value. Right? Nobody's going to give it to you. So you need to make sure you do your homework to be able to earn that.
Those are some incredible points, so we'll all keep that in mind.
Definitely, sir. So, sir, how do you think the role of alumni in shaping the future leaders is essential in TAPMI?
I think it's very essential. I think I'm also guilty of not giving enough time back to TAPMI. Something, if I could change, I would change that. Hopefully, I'll change it going forward. But I think having people who you can talk to, who you can bounce off ideas, who will not judge you, who will be there to just help you out in every way is very, very helpful. So I think for me, having not necessarily TAPMI mentors, but mentors in general, people who watched out for you was very helpful. I think the alum can do a lot more in terms of being able to come in here, take sessions, being able to mobilize, for placements, being able to mobilize for other events. And one way to do that is, I think, to plug into the informal alumni networks. The formal alumni networks sometimes become a little too traditional or a little too formal, but the informal network is very active. And at least I'm going to commit to do more of that.
Great, sir.
Thank you, sir. So now this is like a small informal segment. So we are just gonna tell you a few scenarios which are like currently the scene in TAPMI, and you can tell us how it was back in your time. So the first one is today, as of now, we have like 80% attendance requirement for courses at TAPMI. How was it back in your time?
I think it was similar.
Yeah.
Probably more stricter. We had the dean as Professor Nagabraman. He's quite legendary. The very polarized views on him. Some found him to be, the person who made a lot of difference to TAPMI. I am from that school. There are also people who found him to be very, very strict and, sometimes very difficult, very undemocratic. I didn't face much of that. So, but I think the attendance requirement was similar. I think 85, 90s. It's not changed much.
Okay. So you could take like rest days or like, sick days.
Or you manage someone to give you a proxy.
Oh.
That works, sir. So today we have 3 vendors for food. How was it back at your time?
Oh, food. I don't know if he's still there. We had one canteen. I'm forgetting the name of the guy. Satish, Santosh. So, again, personally, I was not fussed about food, which kind of shows, I guess. So, I was not very fussed about food. I was very happy eating in the hostel. There were a lot of friends who would go looking for the Punjabi dhaba and the Rajasthan dhaba, and a lot of people ate all over. But yes, the food was always a complaint for most of the students. It was. I'm sure it's much better now.
Yeah, but the complaining is still there. But yeah, so as of now, our curfew is 10:30 p.m. for first years. Seniors have another 1 hour leeway. 11:30 is their curfew. So how was it back in your time?
I think it was midnight. I'm not sure. I want to check with some of my friends who dated. I didn't date anybody in TAPMI.
Oh.
So I'm not sure. But I think for the guys it was midnight.
Oh.
For sure. It's 10:30 for the guys also.
Yeah, everybody, like a whole batch, MBA1 has it at 10:30.
Personally, it's less. I think people are midnight even at their homes.
Yeah, true.
It's probably less. Let me see if I can influence it.
But
it is less.
Yes, please.
It is less.
Okay, so it's been an absolute pleasure having you with us today. Thank you so much for all the insights that you've shared, and I'm sure that all our students who would be watching, once this goes live, they would learn a lot from it, especially all those points about adaptability and about like seeing each product as a separate entity of its own. So I'm sure we learn a lot from this, sir. So thank you so much for taking the time. to do
It's been
this.
my pleasure. It's been really nice to be back in campus. I think everybody has been really nice. I don't know if I deserve so much honor, but I think right from all the professors, the director, they've been really kind. And my only advice would be work hard, but don't take yourself so seriously. Have some fun, and don't chase the money. The money will come. Chase a good experience, and just keep working on that. All the best, everybody.
Thank you so much, sir.
So that's it for today's episode for Alumni Talks. Thank you, Mr. Anand Khurana sir, for sharing your insights. We hope you would like this episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay blessed and stay inspired. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.